What's up, football fans? You're not going to believe the story I'm about to tell you. Imagine this. You're a legendary NFL quarterback. You've hung up your cleats. You're coaching high school football in Alabama. You've got 10 kids. You're even a grandpa now. And then your phone rings. It's the Indianapolis Colts. They need you. At 44 years old, Philip Rivers just pulled off one of the wildest comeback stories in recent NFL history. Today, we're breaking down how Uncle Phil went from mowing his high school football field to starting games in the NFL, and why this three-game blur will go down as one of the most memorable moments of the 2025 season. Let's dive in! So here's how this all went down. It's December 2025, and the Indianapolis Colts are sitting at 8-5. They're in the thick of the playoff race, but disaster strikes. Their starting quarterback, Daniel Jones, tears his Achilles tendon. Suddenly, the Colts have a massive problem on their hands. Now, most teams in this situation would just roll with their backup, or maybe sign a journeyman quarterback off someone's practice squad. But Colts head coach Shane Steichen and general manager Chris Ballard had a different idea. They picked up the phone on a Sunday night and called a guy who hadn't played professional football in nearly 5 years. That guy? Philip Rivers. Rivers was down in Fairhope, Alabama, coaching the St. Michael Catholic High School football team. And get this, he wasn't just some celebrity coach showing up for photo ops. This man was literally mowing the football field himself. He'd been coaching there since 2021, and the team was crushing it, making the state semifinals 2 years in a row. When that call came in, Rivers had a huge decision to make. He had 10 children to think about, including a son who was in the middle of his senior season. He even had a grandson at this point, but there was something about this opportunity that felt different. Now, you might be wondering, why would Rivers say yes? The man had been retired for almost 5 years. He was comfortable, he had a great gig coaching kids. Why risk it all? Rivers himself explained it perfectly. In his own words, he said it was a coach that I love, an organization that I really enjoy being with, Mr. Arce believing in me that year in 2020. And shoot, 14 of them are still here. They wanted me. Everything just lined up perfectly. See, this wasn't Rivers' first rodeo with the Colts. Back in 2020, he played an entire season with Indianapolis, leading them to an 11-5 record and a playoff appearance. He knew the offense, he knew the coaching staff, he knew the organization. And here's the kicker. The offensive system was exactly the same as when he left. Rivers made it crystal clear that if any other team had called, the answer would have been an immediate no. But the Colts? That was different. This was a perfect storm of circumstances. The timing, the team, the familiarity, it all made sense. After contemplating his options in an Indianapolis hotel room on Tuesday, Rivers made his decision. He was coming back. At 44 years old, Philip Rivers was about to become one of the oldest quarterbacks to play in the NFL. So Rivers signed with the Colts practice squad in early December and quickly got elevated to the active roster. The NFL world was buzzing. Social media went crazy. And his high school players back in Alabama, they were absolutely losing their minds with excitement, watching their coach suit up for an NFL team. But here's the thing about fairy tales in the NFL. They don't always have happy endings on the scoreboard. The Colts couldn't pick up a win with Rivers under center. Despite their best efforts, the team went 0-3 in Rivers' starts. Now, let's talk stats. In those 3 games, Rivers threw for 544 passing yards, 4 touchdown passes, and 3 interceptions. Were those Hall of Fame numbers? No. But remember, this is a 44-year-old man who spent the last 5 years coaching high school football, not facing NFL pass rushers. The reality is, Rivers' body could still handle it, but the rust was real. 5 years away from professional football is an eternity. The speed of the game, the complexity of NFL defenses, the physical toll, it's a completely different animal from coaching teenagers in Alabama. The Colts decided to go with Riley Leonard for their final game of the season, and Rivers knew his time was up. Again, here's what makes Philip Rivers' career so special. This man walks away with 63,984 career passing yards and 425 touchdown passes. Those are numbers that put him in the top 10 all-time in multiple categories. He started every single game for 15 straight years, compiling a 134-106 record as a starter. He was an 8-time Pro Bowler. Before this comeback attempt, Rivers was a Pro Football Hall of Fame semifinalist. Now, his Hall of Fame timeline has been reset. and there's legitimate debate about whether he'll eventually get the call to Canton. Some argue his incredible consistency and Iron Man availability should be enough. Others point to his lack of a Super Bowl ring and the fact that he never made it past the AFC Championship game. But here's what nobody can take away from Philip Rivers. The man loved football more than almost anyone who's ever played the game. He spent 16 legendary seasons with the San Diego Chargers, becoming a franchise icon. He gave the Colts a solid season in 2020, and then, when most guys his age are on a golf course, he spent 4 years coaching high school kids, teaching them not just about football, but about being good men and good students. At the end of the day, Philip Rivers' comeback wasn't about wins and losses. It was about a competitor who couldn't resist one more chance to do what he loves. It was about loyalty to an organization that believed in him. It was about showing his high school players that when opportunity knocks, sometimes you've got to answer, even if it seems crazy. Rivers is back on the sideline in Alabama now, getting ready for another high school season. He's got a story that literally nobody else in football can tell. A 3-game blur that came out of nowhere and reminded us all why we love this game. So what do you think? Was Rivers crazy for coming back? Or is this the kind of passion we need more of in professional sports? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let me know if you'd do the same thing if you were in his shoes. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss our NFL coverage. Until next time, keep grinding, and I'll catch you in the next one.